Now I'm recording right now, Yadi. So all right. So this is the Matt Ellipsis Show. I got my one of my best friends on the planet, Yadi, and I got some some interesting divorce news about my situation. But the question that you were about to what's the question you just asked me?
I said I love the association with divorce. That really helps me in the case that I do need to date again. You know what I'm saying? Because like that, there's nothing more attractive to women than the bitterness. Women love that. It's like pheromones. It's like the smell of attraction.
Wait a minute. Wait, back up. Are you telling me? Wait. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying that a woman, if they know that you're divorced or divorcing, that's actually attractive?
No.
Oh, you're saying the opposite. You're
No.
saying the opposite. You're saying
Yeah.
it's woman repellent.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, I mean, from all I know about women, which is really small, is that a small amount of information is that if you've been divorced, you're a lot less likely to get married again. But
Right.
now that you kind of know the game, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like intelligence is a turnoff to some people.
Mm-hmm. I got you. I got you. Which I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It actually that's a very good point. I don't think I've ever really looked at that angle, and I'm gonna explore that some more because that's actually pretty brilliant. Because what you're saying is that a man that's been divorced, a woman knows she's gonna actually, in order to keep this good man, she's gonna have to like have some integrity. She's gonna have to be. She can't
Yeah,
manipulate stuff.
yeah, exactly. You might have to be like a whole person.
Oh my god. A whole person.
like just giving him some some store bought food slammed on your house plates, you know, and like some secondhand sex, that's not gonna work not at this stage.
Right. Exactly.
Like he's getting older, right? He's getting up in years. We're mid-40s. We're headed to that desperate, you know what I mean, Italian sports car driving midlife. And like, yeah, I mean, and some guys are thirsty enough to be like, you accidentally touch them, but it's not. I mean, if you've been divorced, I think there's something psychological about like I had to pay this woman to get away from me.
Really?
Yeah,
Tell
like
the
if I had
story,
to
man.
pay
Tell
you
the
to
story
leave me
so
alone,
so
I'm
everybody can
not
understand
trying to do it
what
again.
happened.
But anyway, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No. Tell that story. You had to pay the woman. I gotta hear this. If you're willing to share. If you're not willing to share, no big deal. We can move on. But I'm interested.
Well, like first of all, like they're like absurd. Like so, in out of all the clients that I know that are really high profile, and I'm talking about these would be considered your baller type. And I don't mean like street level ballers where like you bought like a used BMW from 1984. The windows don't roll down, but you put tints on them and the AC is busted. So every time you get in the car, you sweat. I'm talking about like real ballers, people who invented things, international trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these guys would describe their stories with like prostitutes, and they would say that the luxury in a prostitute is not that you get them, but they leave you.
Right. Right.
Like that's what the money is for. It's not that you're, like, it's the luxury is that she goes away.
Yes.
And I never understood that because I always said, no, I love my girlfriend, but this is before I got divorced. Okay, so like, just think about it. Like you marry somebody, and they have game. Like at the time you get married, everything is cool. You're looking at a future. They're looking at a future. That's whenever that happens, right? But then at some point, she gets disenfranchised. You get disenfranchised, right? And there's some cheating involved. And at that point, yeah, you're paying her to go away. That whole divorce is really just how much do I have to give you so you will leave me alone?
Right. And you're saying that if you that those kind of like these people, some of your clients, they understand that. Listen, if I just give a few dollars on the front end and just keep it as a prostitute relationship,
Yeah.
I'm not paying you to go away for the rest of your life in child support, alimony, whatever other stupid whatever. You come in here's your money and you get out of there.
Exactly. So look at it as a percentage, Matt. Like, think of it. Like, okay, so the court's not letting me slide with less than 20% child support.
Right.
Right. The court's gonna get me for 20% of my income in the door just because I'm a guy. Like, you're gonna get me. There's no way I can win, even if I have the one of Diddy's attorneys that'll let you get away with shooting in the club. Like, even if I have one of those people, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way that I can ride out of this court with less than 20%.
Even if you got Johnny Cochran is not gonna be able to get you less than 20%.
Yeah, nah, even Big Johnny, you're not sliding with less than a 20% hit.
The glove don't fit. You must have quit, but you are still gonna get out of here with no less than 20%. That's period.
Yeah.
Wow.
So whatever you make, right? Let's say you make $22,000. You work at Arby's. You're the shift manager at Arby's, right? You're making that steak with the au jus or however you pronounce that, right? And like, you make $22K. You might not think that 20% of $22K is a big number, but 10% of $22K would be like 2 stacks, and then like 20% would be like 4. Now you make $18K. That's pre-taxes, right?
Right.
So you can pretty much kiss food goodbye for at least.
You better eat what you drop on the floor at the job, right? And you can't deduct it. You can't deduct what you give them on taxes.
Right. Now you have situational neuropathy because you drop food at work because the numbness in your hands.
Don't worry. No. Don't throw out the trash. Just put it right there. I'm gonna deal with that. I'll deal with that. I deal with that. I'm taking that home. Put it in my refrigerator.
Like, when you put the cheese on it, it kills all the COVID-19.
Exactly. You gotta be healthy. Gotta be sanitary. You know what I'm saying?
No. Anyway, so percentage-wise, if you think of it, if I'm dropping 20% mandatory, right, or whatever that means. Like, I can budget how much hooker money I have, as a preventative. Like, I can think, if I would have spent 20% unfavorably to get rid of you, let me look at the ones I actually do like, and like, throw away, put to the side like $100 or $200 a month, and then every 3 months when I feel like I need some affection, let me just jump down on some affection.
Right. Which
now I understand that.
And see, and that's one of the funny things about like prostitution or whatever. We are trained in America to look at it in a bad way. But
right.
if we sat down once, like you said, once you're divorced, you start to look at the economics of it. That means it's almost like the people who are in charge of America, they wrote the laws so that you would actually have no choice but to, you go to jail if you deal with a prostitute, if you're not in the right place where prostitution is legal.
Yeah, if you're not in Vegas.
Right. So and so you go to jail if you don't deal with a prostitute, but then so you gotta go ahead and get some legitimate, marry the cow, if you want to call that. You gotta take the cow to the altar.
Legit sex.
Right.
Yeah,
legit sex. So now you have no guilt, but you're with somebody, and then when that woman, when it becomes unsustainable, now you gotta go back to the court system. Or go back to the clerk's office that gave you the license, and now you got to go back to them, and then your exit out of it is so much money. It's almost like you know what? As much money as I got to fork out for this whole thing, I might as well have taken the prostitution ticket.
Yeah, because you probably get much cooler pictures too. Like, think about it. So, and I'm not saying, first of all, who did Christ hang out with?
He hung out with with the dregs of society sometimes.
Yeah. So I'm not bashing prostitutes. In fact, I understand the hustle. Like I understand the game. I understand the supply and demand thing, right? Like nobody's cooler than prostitutes. Like I've had women who work as escorts. Not all of them. Not all of them get down. Like, with due respect, some of them are just seat fillers. They just hang out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But a lot of women in that field, they go. There's a price tag on everything. They go further if they go further. That's up to them. I'm not saying all of them, but I know women who have. And nobody is cooler than prostitutes. No person on this planet understands men more than a prostitute.
I think you're right. I really think you're right about
your
that.
Your wife doesn't understand you. Your ex-wife, and you know this. You know why? You know how your wife doesn't understand you?
Break it down.
Well, you're getting divorced.
Boom. Boom.
If she understood you, you wouldn't probably have gotten married to her because you didn't align, not in the beginning. And then if it was an actual friendship, right? It wouldn't come to that.
Exactly.
There's a level of disclosure that you have with hookers. You know what I'm saying? Where this is what I want, right? This is what I'm expecting you to do. This is how much I'm gonna give you in exchange for it, and these are the terms. That's all understood in the beginning. Nobody understands a man better than a prostitute. And I hate to say it this way. Because I've known these women for years. Like I've had them in my clinic. Prostitutes get sore muscles and, you know what I mean? It's stomach aches and migraines too. They're human beings. I've had them as patients. Yet nobody gets it better than prostitutes.
You got a good point. One of the things that when in 2018, I was working on some comedy material, and one of the bits that I came up with, and this bit that I actually do believe in it enough to try to make it happen, but I need to keep it in the comedy arena because I doubt if anybody would ever do this, but I think it should be done. And this, I'm being true. So let me explain this. in the bit, so imagine I'm standing in front of an audience, and I'm not about to do the comedy routine. I'm just going to tell you the idea. So church women. I'm gonna hold a meeting on Saturday. Okay, today I'm in front of you guys right now, but here's a date coming up in the future. This date or these series of dates, I want to have a 3-day conference, right? A lot of these preachers, they got 3-day conferences. A lot of you got South by Southwest. You got all these conferences that people go to learn some stuff and network and all that other stuff. I want to hold the first ever prostitute ampersand church lady conference, and that is where the prostitutes come in and the church women come in. If you're a church woman, if you go to church, if you're a woman that goes to church, bring yourself here to the conference. It's free. You ain't gotta pay nothing. It's free. And
that's dope.
And then prostitutes. If you are a prostitute and you come on in. Now, here's what the goal is. The goal is not for me to talk to both of y'all and tell you both what y'all doing wrong, right? The goal is that I'm here, every prostitute and every church lady. You both are coming with the mindset of being a provider of something, okay? Church women, I'm going to get to you guys in a second. Prostitute women, let me tell you something. You all are probably the most wonderful women on the planet, which is why you get treated like crap. So what Yadi just said about you all understanding men, better than anybody else. One of the reasons why you need to be in this room is because a lot of the church women, their men are secretly visiting you. Because
Ooh.
because these church women, they don't know what to do with their men. They know how to manipulate. They know how to yell at them. They know how to beat them down emotionally and spiritually. They know how to lift them up in certain areas. But there's
Yeah.
something about what you do that makes them decide to come to you. And
Yeah.
that was true in my life. And that's true if a lot of men are honest, it's true in their lives. Right? So I'm just saying that
Oh yeah.
that the perfect woman for me. Go ahead. What was you gonna say? Go ahead, because I know you feel me. Go ahead.
That's the okay, so um okay, so if I sit a prostitute next to a church woman, right?
Come on now, break it down.
But now, mind you, also I practiced many different religions over time, right?
Okay.
So I have Judaism, I have Islam. I've hung out in Indian ashram before, right? And Christianity. Like, I've been around many different people of faith. The problems in marriage never change. I mean, it's always the same thing. Like, so if a man deals with a prostitute and they have an understanding, right? I'm not even gonna clean it up. I'm not even gonna give you the eraser phrase, like the mafia eraser phrase, with all due respect. Or I'm not saying, I could clean it up and say, I'm not saying to hire a prostitute. In fact, I'm saying just the opposite. If you get, as a man, if you get the chance to talk to a prostitute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it. She's smarter than you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why she's smarter than you? Because she's honest.
Boom. Honesty trumps intelligence all the time, I think.
Well, it's a form of intelligence because there's no fear. There's no fear when I'm honest with you. Like if I have to lie to you, I'm afraid that you might find out something about me. Right? This is why we're friends, right? This is why you and I are friends, because we've seen each other at the worst.
Yeah.
The lowest of the low. Like there was a time, fam, when you were pretending you got hit by cars.
Yes, you.
And I was right there as like.
Do you just take a sidebar? Take a quick sidebar, and we'll get back to the. But just tell a quick little piece of the story so that they get a general feel, because I'll expound on that later. Go ahead.
Okay, so right now, I guess we're ashy to classy, right? We went from ashy to classy. You know what I mean? I get ashy too. I'm not, but we went from ashy to classy, right? And so we're probably like 15, 16 years old, and you have some brand new cross colors.
Yes.
Yes. The cool RBG, red, black, and green, the cool ones. You know what I mean? Like back when clothing was making political statements without marching in the streets and hashtagging about it. It's just like, okay, he's black. He's gonna wear red, black, and green. That's something that black people do. Cool shit. And sorry.
Don't worry about cousin. Do not worry about that. You good.
But that was the attitude. Like, oh, okay, black people can wear stuff that indicates they're black. Like my daughter example. Like my daughter, her mother is black, right?
Yeah.
And she wanted a FUBU shirt of all things for her birthday. Birthday was like 3 days ago. And she wanted a FUBU, right? That's a throwback.
Yeah.
For a 24-year-old, she wanted to throw. I was like, that's cool, but there's one that has hashtag Black Lives Matter, right?
Yeah.
And for the first time in her life, I've been concerned for her safety. Because I'm like, okay, you live in a little podunk town in the middle of Tennessee. And if I'm looking at the political, I'm looking at the Biden-Trump election.
Yeah.
Tennessee was red as a mug.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm like, baby, I didn't, But anyways, so back to the story. Segue, right?
Yes.
So, you're wearing some brand new cross colors, which cost more than your shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your pants, that never happens now. The shoes are they have $200 shoes that just look like $50 shoes.
Right.
The difference is in the material and how they fit your foot. But this is 2020 level, right? So you're laying down in the streets, reaching up as if
my neck and my back.
It's kind of like watching like a whale get beached. Like the whale is reaching for the water. Like, okay. It was funny to me. I'm up there laughing, but that's making it difficult to make people stop because, like, I'm standing next to you laughing. So if you really did get hit, that makes me the worst person on earth. Standing up, laughing at it. But anyways, no. So you was, and I think, God rest his soul. I think this is one of those days we were hanging out with Jerry.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
So Jerry's just sitting up there. He's going along with it. Like,
I almost think it was his idea. That's what I'm saying. I believe it was his idea.
Why did you do that? Like, I still, at this point, it was because it was random. We were just walking down the street. I think we were walking to somebody's house. And, the agenda was always music. Like, we're going to go do some music, got some verses, da-da-da-da. But I'm like, why is he doing this?
I believe, if I remember correctly, and I'm not trying to shift the blame to Jerry because obviously he can't defend himself, but Jerry, he would come up, he had these little weird ideas or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like in another scenario, he said, hey, I'm hungry. Let's call McDonald's and tell them that they messed up our food, so let's get some more. Now, that was a witty invention to do. It was called theft by deception, right? So he, you know what I'm saying? So he came up with it. He said, so let's pretend like, hey, Matt, pretend like you've been hit by a car and let's have some fun. So I did it like a dummy.
Right, but what was that out game? Like, okay, I get the McDonald's thing, right? Because if you do the McDonald's thing right, you could grab a receipt out of the garbage and go get some McDonald's, right?
Right.
And we didn't know that was causing cancer, but we get the food. Right? We didn't know that was giving us prostate cancer or something, but yeah, we get the sandwiches or whatever. I get the end game of it, right? Like,
yes.
That has an end game. What was the end game of laying in the streets pretending to get hit by a car?
I think
because they cut you out of those pants.
That's the was that part of the point that you were going to make about I was devastated.
So I'm saying it like this. Like, picture you wearing like a Louboutin, like a Christian Louboutin fit. Does he make clothes? Let's say you're wearing Louis Vuitton, right? You're wearing like the most expensive gaudy Louis Vuitton outfit, right? Mm-hmm. And it probably cost you $800 just to think about buying it.
Right.
And they cut it.
I mean, I was devastated.
Oh, I was devastated. No, but I mean, seriously, like if you look at my family culturally, and like if you pull up like one of those DNA things, we got about 5 or 6% sub-Saharan African in us somewhere. Mm-hmm. And that part of me wanted to borrow your pants. I was like this 5% of me is really into this. I really want to borrow those pants. Like,
and the people, the end game, I think, was adventure. I mean, because my time with Jerry through the rest of the time before he passed away or died or whatever, committed suicide. Drugs was an adventure. You know what I'm saying? Drinking with Jerry was an adventure. You know what I'm saying? And that, I think, was part of it. And what I learned, now that I'm in my 40s, my songwriting is a lot more. It's a lot. I don't know if I'm a better songwriter than I was when when we were together, 15 years old. But experience and adventures in life brings a lot more to my writing. Like my son, he raps or whatever. He be saying his little rhymes, but he ain't
Oh,
been through
yeah, it's
nothing.
dope.
You know what I'm saying? He's 9 years old saying, "Daddy, we're gonna have a rap battle," and he's really repeating rhymes either that I wrote or repeating rhymes that he heard on the internet from like they got this little annoying orange. I don't know if you've ever seen that with your children. Annoying orange. It's an
Yeah.
orange where they the mouth is a regular person mouth, but it's orange, and they do little raps, some whatever. And so
No,
my son memorized some of the
that's
raps or
cool.
whatever. So whenever he say I'm gonna rap, he starts repeating some of those lyrics. But that means he ain't got it. He's an empty vessel with a skill to rap, but he ain't got no life experience. So all
Yeah.
he's gonna say is whatever. So, but all of these dumb adventures between, sitting in the street, pretending like, pretending like a car hit me. The adventure of it was dumb, but
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I kind of want to tell the story, if
Yeah,
that's cool.
please, please.
Yeah. So okay. Well, everything is everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, and as I'm thinking about Jerry, I mean, he was probably really traumatized. He probably had some really traumatic things happen to him as a kid because he couldn't have a serious conversation with you. He wouldn't. If you got serious with him, he wasn't. He'd walk away from you, or he'd say something crazy to just blow it away. Like
Right.
I'm not trying. It
Right.
was obvious he wasn't trying to have any serious
Absolutely.
exchange.
Which I mean, and I noticed that in a lot of people. I've learned, and this is one of the benefits of me spending time with Jerry, is I learned how to not do what he did. He would avoid the emotions that come with the situation he was in.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I say he was probably traumatized. He was probably traumatized.
Yeah.
So let me tell you the story, right?
Go ahead.
So back in it's probably 99 or 2000. I still watch the Apollo when I watch the amateur night. We all do that, like as people who grew as creatives.
Oh yeah,
What I
you
mean?
want to see what works sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, and also being a person of one of those blah cultures where people don't know where you're from, you can't tell. You know what I mean? Where you're from. Like, I love when I love when, like, Asian people, white people, Latino people go on the Apollo in front of, like, a mostly New York, black audience, right? I love that because they have to really be talented, number one, anyway, but number two, you're going into a position of weakness,
Right. Right.
and I like to see what they do with it because it's a moment where if you don't bring it, if you don't have talent, it's gonna go bad. It's gonna go real bad for you. And it's on TV. And then there's a guy that comes out after you get booed off and dances on you, like
Yes, Sandman
and
Boy.
dances
Yeah.
on you. So I'm watching the Apollo Amateur Night, and this white dude gets on wearing a fur vest with no shirt on and a big New York Yankee pendant, gold pendant he's got a fur vest on, okay? And he's introducing himself, and the guy says, "So where are you from?" And he pulls out this accent. He says, "I'm from Antwerp."
Where?
Antwerp. It's like Germany.
Oh.
And he's like, "So what are you gonna do?" He's like, "I'm gonna bring the love." So he comes out, and it's a total. We don't know what this guy's gonna do. He's got a fur vest on. He's got a New York Yankee gold, pendant. You know what I mean, hanging down at his navel.
Yeah.
Like he's 2000s rapper, right? And he's got the chest hair out. He's got the taco meat out. And then this music comes on, and it sounds like runway model walking the runway music, and he says, "I have the best job on the planet. I fly around the world and make love." And he says, even though some might understand it, he said, some may not understand it, it either happens or it does. And then he does like this really weird snake dance move. Like, but his head's kind of stiff, so it kind of breaks at his shoulder.
Wait a minute. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I'm looking at it. Hold on. Let me just see if this is it.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Look up Von.
That's
Von,
it.
Von, Von.
I got it.
All right.
Now,
Now, where you from, man?
yes, please,
I'm from
please look at
Antwerp.
this.
All right. For the people out there who ain't got no map, where's that at?
Man, it doesn't really matter.
Oh shit! I dropped my speaker. Wait, I gotta go back and start a little bit back because I missed something.
What's up, man? How
Yeah.
you doing?
Hey, I'm all right tonight, Harlan. How you doing?
All right. Now, where you from, man?
Now, I'm from Antwerp.
All right. For the people out there who ain't got no map, where's that at?
Man, it doesn't really matter because this is where it's at. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
The
that,
good thing
that
for me,
right
I wasn't
there
like, yeah, my
was
company live
amazing.
over there.
Say it again.
That little flip he did, it doesn't matter, man, because this is where it's at. Like, that right there was amazing. So if you watch a little bit of the routine, like, he killed it in a weird way,
Yeah.
right? But here's what's crazy. He's not from Antwerp. His name is Hugh Gallagher. Okay, but it's not. I'm not done though. Like,
Okay, go ahead, break it down. Now I got the video. So you continue talking. I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna put the video as part of this recording later. You know, when I edit it and whatever. So go ahead, break it down.
So Hugh Gallagher is famous for writing the most odd college entrance essay in the world. I didn't know this. Like, so picture this. 15, 16 years go by from when I saw Von, and I used to go back to it, and just to make me laugh,
Yeah.
right? Okay, but you know the pandemic happened and we're all on lockdown, right? So I look up Von, and I'm like, yo, this guy, did he win? I'm looking at it on YouTube, kind of like you just did, right? And I'm like, what happened to this guy? And then in Google, it says, it's giving me this name, Hugh Gallagher essay. So I'm like, who the hell is Hugh Gallagher? So I go through YouTube a little more, and the same guy, without the accent, dressed up like a regular person, wearing like a polo shirt, wins the essay contest. And if you read the essay, I'll just read like a little bit of it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
This is an actual essay he wrote to New York University. I am a dynamic figure, often seen scaling walls and crushing ice. I have been known to remodel train stations on my lunch breaks, making them more efficient in the area of heat retention. I translate ethnic slurs for Cuban refugees. I write award-winning operas. I manage time efficiently. Occasionally, I tread water for 3 days in a row. I woo women with my sensuous and godlike trombone playing. I can pilot bicycles up severe inclines with unflagging speed, and I cook 30-minute brownies in 20 minutes. I'm an expert in stucco, a veteran in love, and an outlaw in Peru.
Wow.
I'll read one more paragraph before you.
Wow.
Using only a hoe and a large glass of water, I once single-handedly defended a small village in the Amazon basin from a horde of ferocious army ants.
Army? Did he say army ants?
Ants, yeah.
That's hilarious.
I played bluegrass cello. I was scouted by the Mets. I am a subject of numerous documentaries. When I'm bored, I build large suspension bridges in my yard. I enjoy urban hang gliding. On Wednesdays after school, I repair electrical appliances free of charge. And if you read his whole essay, man, listen, so if you read his whole essay, it gets even funnier. But this was a real essay, and he actually got in to the school. So, Okay, so at first I'm like, why does this guy fake being from Antwerp? You know what I mean? Like, because we're talking about honesty, right? With the prostitutes, we're talking. The whole theme was honesty, right?
Yeah.
This guy is an artist, man. Like, so it was like somebody bet him. I don't know how the conversation went down, but like on a dare, somebody bet this dude, like, I bet you won't go to the Apollo and pretend to be from Antwerp. Okay, so I'm going down a rabbit hole a little more because we're on a pandemic, and you know me, we know each other. My mind and your mind, it doesn't stop at that. Like, the essay would have been enough for the
Right.
person.
It should have been. That's enough. It's like, whoa,
But
look,
it's not,
so many
it's
people
not,
despise the way my mind works. They hate it.
Yeah, that's not enough. So I'm still thinking. No, as you know, I practice traditional Oriental medicine, and I've studied traditional Oriental medicine for 20 years, and I've studied Oriental philosophy, and I'm a big fan of it because it's kind of like a way to thread things together in a real easy way with people.
Okay.
It teaches you, like, the laws of cause and effect. It's really simple, like how to talk to people, how people tend it. Like, for example, there's a book called the Tao Te Ching, which is the book of the way of virtue, and it's a very old book, and it's translated almost as much as the Bible.
Wow.
And it's not a religious book; it's a philosophy book. But in the book, it says, "Trying to please others lays the groundwork for misery." And it's full of things like that. It's brilliant. So as I'm going down the wormhole or down a rabbit hole with Hugh Gallagher, because now I'm like, what is wrong with Hugh Gallagher? Why is he faking the funk with the Antwerp thing? But then I read this essay and I'm like, oh, he's a satire artist. And now I understand what kind of cojones this guy had to have to get up in New York City, Harlem, right? And do this Von thing. You know what I mean? So a little bit more digging. This guy actually wrote the hip hop version of the Tao Te Ching. He calls it the Yo Ching.
No way.
And on the cover, there's a dude wearing a fitted cap in black and a dude wearing a fitted cap in white, just kind of like the yin yang. So I had to contact this guy. I had to, because he's one of us, man. Like, what you don't understand is if you're that crazy, and you're willing, you're one of mine.
Right.
So I contacted him. I'm like, yo, you gotta. I think I have the exact email. Hold on, I'm gonna read the text of this email. Just a little. It wasn't that long, Yeah, I said, peace, Hugh. I mean, Von.
Wait, did you say peace, Hugh? I mean, Von. Is that what you said?
That's the subject of the email. Yeah, I like to get to the point, right? I mean, this is family, beloved. This is a conversation where we just gave prostitutes a big up over married women. This is gonna get crazy now. Like, this conversation is going all the way around. Yeah, so the subject, I like to get to the point. I said, peace, Hugh. I mean, Von. I said, you're a brilliant mess. I just put your book in my Amazon cart. I saw your Apollo performance 19 years ago when I was interning in a Chicago acupuncture clinic, learning Taoism and traditional Chinese medicine. I thought the Von show was dope and I've watched it through all the years to cheer me up at times. I said, you're wild for that one. Anyhow, seeing your 2016 interview with Destination Thailand brings it full circle. All roads lead to the road. Just want to introduce myself. I'm a fellow smartass. You're a gift to the world. Blessings. Yadi.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't expect anything to come of it, right?
Yeah.
This guy gets back at me. He looks me up. He's like, oh, you're teaching Qigong? I mean, he says, wow, Qigong exercise, that means you may be dialed into something big. And I didn't even expect. I'm thinking this guy's gonna be like, who is this little dude? Like, I'm
right.
Von. Like,
I was on the Apollo.
I'm Trayvon. I'm 3 Vons. Like, I have 3 Vons to my name. Not one Yadi.
You're one Yadi. I'm 3 Vons.
Like even Yadi Molina from the St. Louis Cardinals has Yadi Yadi Yadi. Like he has T-shirts with the 3
Yeah,
Yadi.
talk to me when you become Yadi Yadi Yadi. Get at least 2 Yadis before you start talking to me with 3 bars.
Like you're not messing with me, family. You're not messing with me. I'm Trayvon. So, so anyway, he gets back at me and he's like all warm-hearted. He was like,
Oh,
yeah,
my
man, I'm gonna add
goodness.
you on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? And like about a year goes by, not even a year, because this was earlier in 2020. About like 6-7 months go by, and he sends me this song that it was John Oates is the GOAT.
Yeah.
So you remember Daryl
That was
Hall
the
and
name.
John?
No, you said, is that the name of the song?
Yeah, and I can't find it because it was on his podcast, and it had a funky bass line, and he's like John Oates is the GOAT.
Because I know you're talking about Hall & Oates. I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, Daryl Hall had that show, the Daryl's House, where he threw down.
Right, Daryl Hall, yeah.
Yeah, he had that whole show where he would invite musicians to his house and
Yeah,
you know,
do covers of their songs with the people.
Yeah, and it was just wow, like that's I can't even. It was like a dream. It was like a fantasy watching that, like the CeeLo Green episode.
The CeeLo, that's the one I saw. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Oh man, yeah. So this dude does an homage to John Oates.
Was it the homage to John Oates? Was it in a little bit of a way a middle finger to Hall, or it was just to honor Oates because Hall, you know, Hall's name, you know, whoever comes behind the ampersand is sometimes, you know, lesser known or lesser whatever. So he was just beefing them up, bigging them up. That's all.
Yeah, because you know he didn't get a whole lot of love. You know, like so you know Daryl was the man. You know,
right? Didn't nobody want to go to Oates' house?
Right. Yeah, it was exactly. It wasn't John's house because that sounds like somebody who actually paid for a prostitute. John's house is the person who already paid his money for the So I think he bigged him up to be countercultural. Like he's always doing. Like he's like us. He's gonna do something ironic. You know.
Right.
But the bass line was funky, and you know the John Oates is the good. Because who thinks of John Oates as the GOAT? The GOAT of what? Like
right.
You know, even in what is that 1-on-1? You remember 1-on-1? I'm tired of playing all these games. It seems like I can't get time out anymore. Like that.
Oh, that's one of Hall & Oates' songs, right?
Yeah.
Do the thing that you want me to. Is that the one? I can't go for that.
You want me to, but that's I can't go for that. No.
Right. That's not what you were singing.
No. He's singing 1-on-1. I wanna play my game tonight. I was trying not to sing for real.
But you actually got a great voice, though. That's one thing I enjoyed about. That I do enjoy about you, man. You got a great singing voice, actually.
We're musical. Like, rap was not the limitation. We just did rap. I think the reason why you rap is because just singing didn't give you the excitement from the audience that you wanted. Because you could sing. I remember we were sitting up. We were at a mall with two or three ladies, right? And you pulled out "Lady in My Life." Like,
what do you mean I pulled it out? Are you saying I pulled out a cassette or something?
You know, so this was 90s, right? So we're wearing baggy clothes, military clothes, and you know, we're rapping all hard. Then you just stop like, there'll be no darkness tonight. Lady, our love will shine. And I'm like, whoa.
Oh, wait, you saying we were hanging out with these girls and I started singing to them sort of a little bit?
You know what guys do. You're trying to get a little bit of favor.
Yes.
So these girls were pretty, right? We were young, and like we're rapping, and like you know, there's a point at which you know you're rapping just for reactions, and and one of them was like, "Oh man, all y'all do is rap." And then you were like, "Hold up, really? There'll be no darkness tonight. Lady, our love will shine." And I'm like, "Whoa." You know what I mean? And then, like, okay, you had them, fam. You had them at, "You're every wonder in this world to me." And, like, she's leaning into you, right? At that, when you hit, "In this world to me," when you hit that riff, she leaned into you with her torso leaned into you. And I was like, yo, this is amazing. I gotta sing. So if I can sing, it's because of that moment. That's funny because I actually sang over the last 20 years. I had a lot more singing than I had rapping. But no, it was really, man. I'm saying, I'm crediting you with the moment of realization that how powerful the singing voice is.
That is so.
Because we were just ordinary knuckleheads, right? We were ordinary knuckleheads. Like, I have scars on my knuckles from banging on heavy bags with no gloves on. I was an ordinary knucklehead, right? And then, you know, we're doing ordinary knucklehead stuff. We're hanging out outside of a mall, not buying things. We're not buying things, right? We're loitering outside of a mall. And then here you go singing Michael Jackson in, like, perfect tone. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
With melodious. And I'm like, wow, yeah, no, I think I want to sing.
You're so funny. That's so funny. That's so funny.
Cause look at it. Like, as a rapper, like, the girls you're gonna get talk like, hey, you done with that blunt? You done with that blunt? I think I need a drag. I need to go to the lady doctor today. That's what you get when you rap, you know.
It's so much testosterone in rap. It's like, yeah, you know, you want to be as hard as possible or whatever, and women like that a little bit. But
I'm just
that's
talking
funny.
about the girls. I'm talking about the girls now. They sound like, I need to go to the lady doctor.
Oh! I'm sorry. I misheard you. Okay, you
like, you know, you look great in that suit.
Wait, you're saying that after you're not still talking about that moment where when I started singing.
No. But that's how the women you attract. Like, if you rap, that's what the women sound like that are attracted to you as a rapper.
Oh,
as a rap artist.
I got you.
Yeah, like, no, you did your thing. You threw down. I'm gonna go eat raw meat.
I have a friend of mine. You know what? You know what's funny? Because what just came to mind is I do have a friend of mine that I know we no longer keep in touch, and I don't even think she has a Facebook page or anything like that. And I guess if you don't have a Facebook page, you really don't exist. So that's one thing I'm kind of dealing with.
Not if you're over 40.
Right? Say it again.
Not if you're over 40.
Right, exactly. Right. And so this young lady, she used to go to church with me, and we went to the same church, and so we were, you know, when I made my first and second and third albums, she and I really became. She was with me. She rapped on my second album, and a lot of the people that rapped on my albums, you know, I usually when somebody raps on my album, I make a friendship out of it because, you know, we not only will we might have to perform the song in the future for somebody, but you know, it's if it's done, if our lives are done right, songs that we do together are going to be a blessing to not only us but other people and our children or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? Like when Nas and Jay-Z, when they did a song together, that was a big monumental moment in rap history, whether anybody understands it or not, because, you know, people like me who understood a little, I didn't even fully grasp the full beef between both Nas and Jay-Z. But when they did a song together, boy, that was a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you know, we're not from New York, so like.
Right, exactly. So
there's too much history.
Right, and so for me to when I the power of that to me was from as my personal application was when I do a song with somebody, we're friends, we're bonded together and whatever. Maybe I shouldn't look at it so emotionally. You know how somebody, we made love together, so use my man's now, use my woman's now, cause we made love together. Maybe sometimes in people's mind, doing a song together ain't nothing but like a one night stand. But for me,
it's weird. Yeah,
it's a bigger deal. So, cause that's my art.
Weird.
So anyway, the point I was making is that she and me started hanging out tough, right? And I remember that my ex, and this is leading up to us getting married, and then after we got married, me and this young lady, she was just my homie. Nothing sexual, just I got a homegirl, and she was kind of, and she was like, what'd you say?
You talking about your ex-wife?
No.
Your friend, a friend you had.
Yeah, a friend. Okay. The friend's name is Akia. Okay. And then my ex, I call her wifey. Wifey.
As
right?
in a Korean sports car.
Yeah, no, not Kia, but Akia, Akia. So that was my homegirl, right? And she's on my second album. She did a verse, the Head Bruise on a song called Head Bruising, and I guess I'll add that to this so you can hear her voice. The Head Bruiser coming through, and she loved Wu-Tang Clan. That was her favorite group, and she really.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not?
Right.
How can you not love?
Yeah, Wu-Tang is the bomb, but I'm trying to get to the point of what you were saying.
That's her favorite rap group, yeah.
Yeah, and so she really was one that helped me understand Wu-Tang Clan a lot, because she was so deep into Wu-Tang Clan, and then she liked my music too. So it was fascinating to know that in her mind, my lyrics and Wu-Tang Clan lyrics were worth listening to in the same, iPod or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a compliment.
Yes, to me, right. So me and her, we used to hang out really tight, and so the point I was gonna make that kind of related to what you said about women and their she was not a lady. She wasn't a ladyfied lady. She was a woman that's a Wu-Tang Clan lover. Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, my lady, she trying to call me. So anyway, the point is that friendship, I valued that friendship. I loved, I loved our camaraderie. I taught her how to, I think I taught her how to drive a stick, or whatever. Anyway, shoot. Oh, doggone it, baby. I can't take the call right now. Shoot. Hold on. Let me send my lady a message real quick. Let me send her a message real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, no, do your thing.
All right, here we go. Come on, baby. Come on, calm down with daggone it. It's like if I don't answer the phone in interview. Boom. All right. Daggone it.
I wanna play my game.
All right. So now,
I was doing whole music.
Right. Oh, you okay? I appreciate that. But look, so now what we've done so far, did you make your point about that guy, Von? Did you finish your point on that?
Almost.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
Almost. So it came full circle. So he sent me a song last week. This is how it works. This is how life works. This is how things work. God created us in His image, right? And like image comes imagination.
Yes.
Because all of the things that you do come from this creativity. Creation comes from the Creator. So creative people have a unique relationship with God because we pull things from places that are invisible to others, and we make them visible. We take things that you don't see and make them seen, and that's a relationship you have with God. It's not it's already there. Like the songs you write are already there in completion. You just have to be an empty channel for that song. You just have to
That's
clear out your
exactly
own
the
thoughts.
way I feel. Oh my God, that's exactly the way I feel. Oh my goodness.
So the brother Hugh, he sends me this song. He's been sending me music, and like I'm kind of relaxed. I haven't done music formally in probably 10 years. I did other things for my friend Ernie, God rest his soul, who died last year. But I haven't. I'm not out there as an artist. I'm in clinic. I'm studying osteopathy now. I'm like full on in clinic, but I love when people send me music because it gives me that feeling of like it's back in the days. Like, oh, you said a verse, I got a verse. You got a verse, I got more verses. So Hugh sends me the song, and it's about us being locked down. Something about they want us to be like house pets, and it was really I was waiting for the drop. I was waiting for the bass line to come in. The bass line never came.
Okay.
And I sent him a voice message back. I'm like, yo, this is Yadi Alamin. Man, where's the energy? I need that Von. I need you to take some. And I was just talking, right? I need you to pop some Jiao Gulan. I need you to pop some cordyceps mushroom. I need you on ginseng or whatever. And I need you to get that energy up and give me that Von. And I said, that was it. And I was halfway joking. Because it wasn't like I read his specific type and gave him an herbal suggestion. I was just suggesting things that make people more energetic.
Right.
And the guy, like a few minutes later, is like, "Which herbs did you say?" So now he's taking it literally. and I told him which one I said. I said Jiao Gulan. Jiao Gulan is like poor man's ginseng. Ginseng is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Because ginseng you got to grow for 5 years and you have to cultivate it a certain way, and it's really expensive to get ginseng. There's another herb called jiaogulan, which is like $20 for a pound, but it has the same effect of giving you, more energy. And the other one was cordyceps mushrooms, and he was like, "Yeah, all right, I'm on it, and I'm gonna come back." He was like, "I feel drained from all this, lockdown stuff, right?" And I'm like, okay, cool. So about a week later, he sends me a message. He's like, yo, fam, I feel energy. I'm ready to hit the studio again. Thank you.
Wow.
And this is how crazy that is. Like, I wasn't looking for Hugh, but I found Hugh. Hugh wasn't looking for me, but he found me.
Yeah. And why do you think, is it because he did the Apollo thing? Or is it because, go ahead, what was you going to say?
Well, one thing about me is like I'm not afraid of the hood.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to be in the hood. I'm not afraid to live in the hood. I don't have any problems with the hood. Like I'm hood friendly. If I met a woman who's born and raised in the hood and her whole family was hood, I am not afraid to come and visit on holidays. I'm not afraid to get roasted. I'm not afraid to play games that we play in the hood and all of that. That's what impressed me about Hugh is he was hood friendly for a hot minute.
Yeah, I got you.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? Being who and then but to be hood friendly but not imitate.
Right, there's a level of honesty.
Yeah, and then like you look at this essay he wrote. He's okay with the hood because he just sees them as other human beings. He sees them not like the way the rest of the world sees them. He sees them as other energy that he can tap into, another form of excitement, kind of like your boy Jerry. Like he just sees them as like a form of company. You know what I'm saying? Like he's hanging out for the inspiration. He's not hanging out, for cosigns and for street cred. He's hanging out there because he wants to be there.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so crucial. I just got real serious for a second. But yeah, that's what's so crucial about him. And I was like, he was willing to borrow some energy and risk being humiliated just to do the Von thing. Right.
You risk being humiliated? Sorry.
So I respect him at that, because if you're willing to it's almost like this. If you were a person of color and you were willing to go to the White House while Donald Trump was in the office,
that's
the equivalent of Hugh going to
Harlem. To the Apollo. Yeah.
and like I have to respect you.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't like Omarosa. I don't like her style, but I have to respect the fact that she hung out through two and a half years.
And even before, just to be in that climate.
Yeah.
Because to me, one of the things that I figured out is that, you know, I figured out, and that's why my father moving us to Arlington Heights, where that's where I started high school and I went to Palatine High School and graduated from there.
Yeah.
One of the best things about that was my father had in his mind, ever since I was conceived, that my children will not go to Chicago schools. And, you know, not that Chicago schools are bad, and not that Chicago schools are, you know, something to be afraid of. I married a woman, my wifey, my soon-to-be ex. I married a woman who graduated from a Chicago school. So, you know, it is what it is. But for some reason,
you know,
go ahead.
If you're from Chicago, that's how you identify yourself. What school did you go to? That's like what high school. If you say you're from Chicago, the next question is what high school did you go to?
Gotcha. And for me, the poetry of my life is that both high schools that I went to, Palatine High School and Proviso East, their mascot was both the pirate. Okay? Both of them just happened to be the pirate.
Wow.
And so, poetically, for me, while I was at Palatine, that's when I learned how to do rap. And then I moved down to Proviso East in Maywood. And so then, while I'm there, now I'm interacting with all these other people who rap too, and we're doing battle raps and doing shows, and they show me how to go to the studio.
It's real.
You know?
Yeah, it's real life.
Yeah, and so by the time I got back and graduated from by the time I came back for my last semester of school, high school, and went back to Palatine High School, by the time I was back, I was my identity as a rapper was formed. In other words, I knew what I wanted to do, you know, and my mindset, you know, I was carrying around I was thinking about, I was recording yesterday, and I remembered that I used to carry around, and I still have it, a crossword puzzle dictionary, which is kind of like a thesaurus, where, you know, what's a 3-letter word for this, or what's an 8-letter word for that. And so it was like a thesaurus. And that is how I used to sit in study hall and write lyrics and, you know, learn these words. And I remembered the first rapper that hit me, it was NWA, it was MC Ren. He had a line, you remember that song, Final Frontier? Bum, 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 da, da, bum.
Of course.
That song, I listened to a bunch of other rappers, but there was something about when MC Ren, that line where he said, I jumped up with the pump, to with the tongue, to get with the fight. Whatever he said, you know, I think it was in the second verse, you know.
But after messing with me, they're giving up rapping and singing the blues. Me and DJ Train dropping bombs like a B2, so you should get the picture, or if not, should get a preview that we don't take no. Yep.
Yes, that is my song. And that his lines in that rhyme was such a spark to me to write and learn how, I don't know if it's called alliteration, where you can write to the rhythm and be able to fit your words in there so that it's rhythmically in sync.
I think that's more like meter, but I don't know. Like alliteration, I think is when you use the same letter at the beginning of the word.
Oh, then is what is onomatopoeia?
Onomatopoeia is where the sound of the word is like the actual sound, like splat, bat, pop, bang.
Then whatever it is,
like Batman, you know, like the old Batman.
Yeah.
Biff, pow, but that's onomatopoeia.
Oh, well, all I know is I tried to match what MC Ren was doing, cause MC Ren was the man, right?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
And so
out of NWA, he was the one who could rap.
No, you know what? Listen, for me, it was Ice Cube #1, then MC Ren, and it was supposed to be like that. Now, MC Ren and Ice Cube, they're two different. They are two different. For me, I followed the Ice Cube path, because when Ice Cube left the group, I'm not trying to get into this right now because I want to finish up the prostitute discussion and the cross color discussion about the dumb thing I did. But the reason why Ice Cube, to me, Ice Cube is probably the #1 rapper in my book because
out of the group, you mean?
Not just no, I'm talking about if I out of all the rappers that exist, that exist now and ever existed, okay, ever from the beginning to now. Now, if I did no this, I'm not worried about anybody else's list because I know everybody be told that top 5. When I think about rappers,
I don't do the list, but I mean that you got to be the first one I've ever heard that puts Cube in the top 10.
Yeah, Cube to me, you don't. Okay, now Ice Cube to me, he's more than just top 10. The way that people look at Jay-Z, how Jay-Z is kind of above the, whatever. You know what I'm saying? When you think about top 5, Jay-Z may not be in your top 5, but he hovers above the top 5 in some people's mind. Or like Dave Chappelle, when you think about top 5, he kind of hovers above top 5.
That was the one.
Now, the reason why Ice Cube to me is such a great rapper / person is because his music, at least after he not only during NWA, but then after he left NWA and he did those three albums, right? Those 3 albums, Death Certificate,
Kill It Well, America's Most,
right?
Yeah.
Those albums were you could listen to some of that music today.
Legendary.
What'd you say?
Legendary.
Right, not only legendary, but you can listen to it.
Music ever.
You can listen to it, and it's relevant today, like Public Enemy stuff might be relevant today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Cube was more like Public Enemy was more like the radio. They were more like the evening news talking to you, and Cube was just like your boy sitting next to you in class talking to you in terms you could understand.
Yes, and so what I liked about Ice Cube to me is when I listened to his songs, it wasn't just nice lyrics. It was a message that went beyond himself. He was a channel.
In those 3 albums. Yes. Not before that, though. Before he was just...
he was doing what the group wanted. That's what I'm saying. Those 3 albums to me put him over the top. There's other stuff that other albums that he's done subsequent to that that were not necessarily as, and I was older, so I didn't appreciate them the same way that I appreciated those 3 albums. But so Cube for me, I got other. I don't want to go more into it right now on that because I want to get back to the other discussion. But Cube for me, and see the thing about it is if you did take those 3 albums, matter of fact, you could take all of his body of work and you could include his movies, and then you can include what he's doing right now with Contract with Black America. That to me, his life makes him one of the greatest. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the lyrics.
There's a lot there to unpack. I mean, I hear you, and I respect the opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the direction that Q and I'll make it short and sweet.
No, go ahead.
But I can't ride with Cube now.
Okay.
I can't ride with him, and I'm happy that he's successful, right? I'm happy that he did movies, that he got, he was getting such a bad deal with NWA, I'm really happy for Cube that he somehow managed to come out of that. But I mean, I'm just not into this new Cube. Like, I don't think that rappers should be negotiating the financial. You know, I don't think who elected Cube as like the representative of, you know what I'm saying, of the average Black American. Like, there are politicians and people who are trained in finance who have a much better sense of how to spread money out that should probably be the one to negotiate.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just think the reason why Cube was selected was because of his celebrity. And just because he's a celebrity and just because we liked him, I don't really think he should be doing.
No, and look, you listen. I want you to know that I totally get your point, and in some way I do agree with you. I do agree with you on some level, but
yeah.
this is the thing that that outside of our opinions of who should be our leader as Black people, who should be negotiating, outside of that,
yeah.
right? Outside of that, because I don't know much about Gandhi. I don't know much about Mandela. I don't know much about certain people in history, right? But
all of those interesting people,
yeah, and in whatever they're doing, I know Ice Cube more than I know about Mandela. I know about Ice Cube more than I know about Gandhi, more than I know about Napoleon, more than I know about Christopher Columbus, because I've lived through Ice Cube. Okay? Now, when I look at Ice Cube, by the time Ice Cube is deceased, okay, and you put a bookend at what he's accomplished with his life, Ice Cube meant something at the beginning, and he didn't flip-flop or change. He evolved, and whether he should be negotiating contract with Black America or whatever, whether he should be or shouldn't be, to me that's not the thing. The thing that I'm happy about is that Ice Cube is still around. Ice Cube from the 90s when he wrote that song Wicked and other things, and what's his name, the guy who got beat up, Can't We All Get Along, what's his name?
You're talking about
the guy who got beat up by all of the cops with the billy clubs.
Rodney King.
Rodney King. Okay, so Ice Cube was talking about that, and his albums covered it. If you listen to other rappers,
and he made a good point when he was being interviewed. Like, Cube, so Cube, he really did you're talking about 1991, 92, 93, Cube. Like, back then, Cube really made it a point of highlighting things that the media did not. He made it a point, like the Rodney King verdict, like everybody was watching court TV because we wanted to see what happened. The same way, like, this is the point what Cube was saying, and he covered a lot of ground, like when he did Dead Homies, and he said, why is this the only time you see folks wearing a suit? Why is this the only time we get together and we sing songs together when somebody dies? He made a lot of good points.
Yes, he did.
And for that, I mean, Dead Homies is one of those things where, like, even now at 45, when I have people die, that goes through my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And, like, some of his little expressions, some of the, like, he'll have little five words that he put together that are still true. I think the difference, like, a lot of things that Dave Chappelle has, Cube has.
Of course. I hear you.
Because they're both raised by college professors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Cube's
I didn't know that about Ice Cube. That's all right.
Yeah, no, both of them were raised by college professors, so they had a little bit of distance between. There's a difference, you know what I mean? Like, if you're talking to Cube, 1991, 92, 93, Cube, he made a conscious choice to be where he was at and to do what he was doing. But he had a different mind before he even got into rap. He wasn't like the average person. You know?
Yes,
The average,
right. In other words, some of the rappers that are expressing the gangster lifestyle or whatever, they are doing it from a different position than the way Cube was doing it. Is that what you're trying to say?
they're really about that life. Cube was not really about that life. He was not really selling drugs. He's not really on that. Not really. He was writing about it. But he was not really in that life like that.
But see, that's the thing. To me, that is one of the street credibility whole thing. One day I'm gonna do sort of like a discussion about the street credibility and the really the ridiculousness of, man, you ain't never, you a studio gangster and all that type of stuff. I remember that because I remember,
Nobody said that about Q.
No. I'm not talking about Q. That discussion about street credibility and stuff like that, that touched on me because me, Jerry, and Reese, when we were doing the group, once Jerry died and Reese started hanging out more with one of his other friends, and they were doing music, and I was doing my little Mad Dog thing. That's one of the things that they were hitting me with, like, studio gangster. And I don't know if I ever considered myself a gangster,
right?
But it was, when you're listening to other rappers, here I am, I'm 15, 16, 17, and you were influenced. Like, it goes back to what I was saying about my son, have I lived?
Yeah.
What am I talking about with my life?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm guilty of the same thing.
What do you mean? Guilty of what?
I mean, I'm probably like, okay, so rap hit me when I was probably like 9 or 10.
Right.
And I was always, and like I come from a family, like my grandparents were immigrants. My parents are first generation. We grew up poor, but then my father all of a sudden got a really good job. And now all of a sudden we have money, but we didn't up until about like 12, 13 years old. I was growing up on hand-me-downs that smelled like fucking mothballs, and I was eating black and white generics, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like, yeah, I mean, we grew up poor, but then all of a sudden we had money. And when my parents moved us out of where I grew up to where we met, which is Buffalo Grove, or yeah, we actually did meet at Buffalo Grove.
Yeah, it was in Buffalo Grove. Yep.
Yeah, so when they moved us out, and moved us to Buffalo Grove, I didn't really fit in with any of those kids because I didn't have their money, I didn't have their clothes, I wasn't like them. I grew up around a bunch of different ethnicities. I grew up a bunch of different colors, and all of a sudden I'm in this place where most everyone is Jewish. And even though I have Jewish in my family, I've never been around Jewish people like this. I don't know Jewish people like this. So now I'm a fish out of water, even though nobody understood it, right?
Right.
So I was drawn into rap as a kid, and then like when I got out into Buffalo Grove, rap was like my only homie.
Mm-hmm.
My only homie, because like now I can't relate to anybody in the school. I'm actually fighting people over the shirt I have on. I'm actually getting into fights over shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kids are snubbing me over and the way I speak. They're snubbing me over everything I do. And I had so much I had so much emptiness that I filled it with rap. Now, because I was looking for a way out, I'm relating to people coming from Compton, coming from the Bronx, coming from wherever, you know what I mean? Coming from Flint, Michigan, like MC Breed. I'm relating to people who come from places that are totally different than where I live. And it's taken me, and everyone was real quick to say, oh, you're biting off their lifestyle, you're trying to be like them. But they didn't know what the product was before I got into rap. They didn't know what I was like before I was into that, you know?
Right.
So they were just confusing me, like, oh, you're trying to be harder than this. And it made me go harder. So I ended up homeless. I ended up in the streets trying to prove that I was really about this life. For 2 years I was in the streets.
Right.
Like, and it's foolish that I was there. But that's how.
When you say it was foolish, are you saying that it wasn't necessary, or are you saying that
Definitely not necessary. Like if you talk to me now, like if we have a conversation now, and you don't bring up hip hop, you may never even know that I was into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You may never. I mean, if the subject didn't come up, you may not even know how deep I was into. Because it's not. That's not the thing I'm putting. I'm not showing you that card all the time. I'm not always showing you my hip hop card. But in those days, that was everything.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Right.
It wasn't necessary for me to be in the streets. What was I trying to prove? That I can live around cops and drug addicts and put myself. What's the point? Like I'm sleeping in people's hallways. You got people kicking crackheads while they're sleeping in the hallway. Like, and what was the point? And I realized from living in the streets after 2 years, I realized that I was more of a nice guy than I was a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
I was far more like a nice person, like a considerate, respectful person than I was like the streets, because the streets have no heart. The streets don't care. Like if you die, you fall out, they're gonna snatch your pockets up, take your shoes off, and that's it. Move on. The streets are a lot like nature. Like, you know, they don't stop and pause and consider your innermost feelings. They just move on. If you're looking for love, you got to find a creator. You can't look to the streets to love you back. And I know that may sound like a reach.
No, it's almost counterintuitive a little bit to some of the thoughts that come from rap music a little bit, right?
That's the dream they're selling you, is that if you're, you know, if you stand up, I don't know what they call it, but in Chicago they call it being on your square. Like if you stand on your square, right, in Chicago, and you know you're really about this life, you know, you what comes out of your mouth is real life, you know, and you're speaking to the street, and you really have it in you. Yeah, you'll get love from a certain bracket of people, but that love comes with the possibility that you could be arrested, shot, robbed. And when you really start paying consequences, when you really start seeing those court dates, and when you really start seeing your friends die, and you really start seeing how little people care about you, you'll start to think of that love as nothing but a fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With Nelson Mandela was just about the people. Like, he got locked up for 30 years. He wasn't a criminal. He was more like a regular Joe. When he got out of prison, he became the leader, but he was never really a criminal. He was locked up for political reasons.
Right.
And as I was in those streets, Matt, like the last year I was in New York, and New York really opened my eyes, because they're like, one guy said, look, you speak properly. You know how to form sentences. You have an intelligent mind. You're creative. Why are you out here? And it wasn't like, hey, and it wasn't like Hank Hill from King of the Hill was like, what are you doing out here? Like, it wasn't that. Here's a guy with dreads.
Bobby, you have a very intelligent mind. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, no, here's a guy with dreads in his hair, wearing some shades, you know, looking like Freedom Williams off of CNC Music Factory.
Good
He was
Lord,
like,
that's funny.
why are you out here? You know what I mean? And he just made me understand that I was using everything that I had against me.
Wow. You say that again? Help me explain that. Say that again?
So, you know how we say, you know, early in the conversation, I'm talking about I love weird people. I love creative people. I'm taking all my creativity and all my weirdness and all my abstract thought, and I'm using it to create something that doesn't exist. I did it to myself. Why am I out here? Why am I sleeping in a laundromat? Why am I sleeping on the subway? And it's because I'm using everything that's good about me against me.
Wow.
And the only reason we do that is because I didn't have the self-esteem that you would have. I didn't, you know, if beating people up gives you street cred, if having if selling drugs gives you street cred, if shooting somebody gives you street cred, I am nothing like that. I will not. I don't want to sell drugs. And if I don't have to shoot you, I don't want to shoot you. If you're no threat to me, then I'm no threat to you, right? What's the point? And if I didn't have it in my heart to be that way, so I created this whole fight inside myself that ended me up in the street. And it's like the realization is, if you're in the streets, no one cares about you. That's the fakeness of it. It's like, you think this is gonna get you love, you think this is gonna get you some kind of respect, and it gets you all the wrong kind of attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you one more experience, then we'll get back to divorce, then we'll slide off and go live this day with I was in the Daily Center in the courthouse, and I'm handcuffed to the bench. I was 16 years old. This is about the same time we met. I'm handcuffed to the bench, and I'm sitting across the bench from this old, probably about 45-year-old black man. He's probably the same age as I am now. And he's looking at me, right? And I'm looking at him. And somebody walks by in those armored truck uniforms, and he's got a bag with him. And the old man looks at me, because old people will break the silence before the young people. And the old man says, how much money you think is in that bag, right? And me, I got an attitude, right, all the way up to my eyes. I'm like, leave me alone, you old punk, da-da-da. And, like, this is what I said to him. Like, who are you? Why don't talk to me, you old da-da-da. And, like, he looked at me and he starts laughing. And now I'm chained to the bench, right? But I can almost reach him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, who are you laughing at? And he said, why are you here? And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, what did it get you for? I'm like, well, they said somebody robbed somebody. And he said, really? He said, you know why I'm here? And I'm like, no. And he goes, I was driving my own Mercedes.
Wait, wow. Mm.
He said, I was driving my own Mercedes. Now, you remember how we used to be. How much attitude I used to have, how much attitude you used to have. You remember us back then.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this old man like, huh? He said, if I looked like you, I would never be here.
Ooh.
Which I didn't want to hear. I didn't want to hear that.
Ooh.
I didn't want anyone to tell me that, because in my head, I'm like, I'm no different from anybody else. I was poor too. I was out here. I grew up on nothing too. But one thing I had to acknowledge, this was in Ice Cube's music, is that this system is built on racism. This system is built on keeping people out of a place where they can be stable and have money. This is a system that's built on an artificial reality where white people are better than black people.
That what you just said, my friend, that is one of the reasons why Ice Cube to me is one of the greatest, because by the time I was 17, 18 years old, I at least was given the Ice Cube report on his world, which made it so that as I started, remember, I came back from the military, I was this Christian rapper. You and me hadn't talked. And so I'm saying all of this Christian stuff, right? Which is underneath that, it's underneath the stuff that so things that I was saying in my 20s and 30s on my first several albums ain't got nothing to do with what Ice Cube talking about. I'm totally opposite than him. And then here's what ends up happening. As I go through my life, right, I get a chance I go up in the church arena, I go as far as I can go, and I see the corruption in there. Not all bad people, not all good people, but I see the corruption, and I get a nice, healthy understanding of what it really is. In the military, I become a paralegal, and so I get a chance to study the justice system, and then when I retire, police, 5 police officers on the 4th of July of 2018 beat the crap out of me. And then on the 8th of July, 7 police officers beat the crap out of me. Right? And so, not saying that I wasn't feeling Cube, even before I got beat up by the cops. Uh-oh. I think he had to go. Let me see here. Hold on. Oh, his battery must have died. Well, the point that I was making was that Ice Cube was right. That's the point that I was making. And Ice Cube's rightness was so helpful to me because all through my 20s and all through my 30s, I gradually had to go back. Oh, here we go. He's back. Hey, my friend, I figured that your battery died.
Nah, I don't know. It's a signal somewhere.
Yeah.
Technology.
So the point that what you just expressed, that's by the time I left for the military, by the time I graduated high school and left for the military, I had 3 albums full of Ice Cube explaining life from his perspective. And I don't know what ages he was, but I believe he might have been by the time he was 30 when he made all 3 of those albums. So I benefited from that. And so now I can spend, because of Ice Cube. Now there's other rappers. I'm going to talk about this through, my life is not only what Ice Cube said and blah, blah, blah. But Ice Cube, he deserves honor from me because what Ice Cube did for me, let's say I wasn't one of Ice Cube's sons, but if Ice Cube was my father, or if Ice Cube was a big brother, or if he was a mentor, or if he was a preacher, or if he was he was a rapper at the time, him just fulfilling what he felt in his heart to do, just like the guy Von or whatever, doing what he wanted to do, Ice Cube did what he wanted to do with his life. I got a chance to get a hold of that music, and he was as honest as he could be. He wasn't selling a dream. He was trying to sell me life without rose-colored glasses about America.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Go ahead. Were you about to say something?
Yeah. No, I get it. I understand.
And so now that here I am, I have done a lot of stuff in my little Christianity walk, and I got to the end of it, meaning that, not that I can't be taught any more religious stuff or Christianity or whatever, but now I've become I've come to the end. In other words, there's how the best way I can say it. I finished my education of many of what I was supposed to learn from some of these preachers. Okay, I finished my education on that. The military, I finished my education on that. As a paralegal, I finished my education on that. Not just education, meaning book learning, but experience. So I've got book learning in the realm of Christianity, book learning in terms of paralegal, book learning in terms of military, book learning in terms of family, and I have experience in all of those. So now now I feel fully ready to live my life. I wish that I could have started my life and be, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 with the knowledge I have right now. because I would have lived my 20s and 30s differently. But the biggest, the greatest thing that I had was Ice Cube's albums, because I now am, in my 40s, I see how right Cube was, and I see what I gotta do for my children, and what I gotta do for the rest of my life. Why? Because at least I had Ice, whatever age Ice Cube was when he did those 3 albums, and everything else he's done before and after. Whatever age he was when he did, Death Penalty, Kill It Will, and America's Most Wanted. Say it again. Repeat what you said.
Your album. He did Death Certificate.
Yeah, Death Certificate.
Death Penalty was your album.
Oh, you said
no, Death Certificate was his.
Wait, repeat.
Yeah,
say what you said again. Just say it one more time. So repeat what you just said.
Okay. Yeah, the name of Cube's album was Death Certificate, but the name of your album was Death Penalty.
Yes, that was the name of me and the little group that me and Jerry formed. It was called Death Penalty. Yep. Yeah, and so in other words, it's like what Ice Cube did was he lived his life and took all of the education that he had, put it into them albums, so that me at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I can listen to his music, and now I have a roadmap of life at an early age. If he was 30, I got a 30-year-old man's understanding in my 16, 17-year-old body, in my mind. So now when I start approaching things at 20, 23, 24, and I hit a roadblock, oh my God, an Ice Cube line comes up, that's what I'm dealing with. Whoa. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I want for my impact. Go ahead. What you going to say? Go ahead. Say it again. I didn't hear what you said.
No, I see what you mean. Definitely.
That's why Cube, because there are other rappers that are out there that are wonderful and entertaining. But if I lived my life based on things that they had to say, then I'm not heading in a direction that's responsible for my family. I have a son and a daughter. You know what I'm saying? And those children, they deserve from me the best possible life. Because if you look at my life and your life, if you take us back 200 years to 1820 or 1821, life is a whole lot different. Yeah. This is what I was cracking a joke with somebody the other day, and I said, you know what? With as much, and mind you, I'm dealing with some circumstances that I don't enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So, but sometimes it's about keeping a positive perspective. So I'm talking with some white people, and this is what I said to them. I said, you know what? With my smartphone and my debit card and and the keys to my vehicle that I got sitting outside, I am more powerful than a slave master 200 years ago. I can do more things than the slave master 200 years ago could do. Sounds dumb, and it is dumb, but that's how powerful we are right now. And one of the thought experiments that I had, and that's why I'm glad that we're still in a relationship, is that earlier this year in January, I was running for my life because of some stuff that happened. I started driving, and I was running away. I got in my car, and I was going to use the last bit of tank of gas to get to somewhere so I can go hide in one of my family members' basement and just hide there and just hide. And my girlfriend was on the phone with me, and she was looking at the paperwork that I sent her, and she said, Matt, listen, turn around. And I got all the audio of this. So one day I'm going to publish it. She said, Matt, turn around. And she noticed a flaw in the paperwork. She noticed what the person said, the flaw and the lie of it. She noticed what the county had done that was a lie. Justice not being right all the time, just not being blind like it should be, and fair and equitable and all that. She said, Matt, please, I know you're sad, I know you're scared. Matt, please, just turn around, go back. You can fight this. You can fight it because look at this air. She's a paralegal, just like me. So she saw what I couldn't see, and so I pulled over, and I got into a hotel room, and got off the phone with her, and went to sleep. But before I went to sleep, because I had all this energy of being scared, I sat down and I did a recording that I don't know if I'll ever publish this, but I did a thought experiment, right? Now think of this thought experiment in terms of you and me. I said, what if in 1993, 1994, 1995, what if during those 3 years I had the technology of 2018, 2019, 2020? What if I had everything that I got right now and everything I've had for the past 3 years? What if I had it back when you and me first met, 1993, 1994, 1995? How would I be functioning? And I went and I let my mind go there and think about it. And I just recorded for like over an hour and a half of I would do this. I would have done 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 this. And then when I was done with that thought experiment, I realized, oh my God, I'm the most powerful Matthew that I've ever been. I've never been this powerful. And so you know what? I'm going to function at my highest potential for the remainder of my life. What was you going to say? Say it again. Say what you said. I didn't hear what you said. Wait, Yadi, can you hear me? Oh, his battery. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, the point that I made, obviously you heard that, and we were going to bring it. Oh, here we go. He called me back again. Here we go. There we go. So,
all right.
So it sounded like you were about to say something. Go ahead. Finish what you were about to say.
No, we were like, yeah, technology and that. And God was like, oh, by the way. Cut that call short real quick.
What I was saying is, if I had today's technology back when you and me first met, when I thought about everything that I could have accomplished or that I would have accomplished, I realized, oh my God, I am the most powerful Matt that I've ever been. Right now, I'm more powerful than I was last year. Them cops beat me up in July 2018. And number one, I'm still alive. Number two, I have freedom of speech so I can talk about it. Number three, I have full knowledge of not only the corruption, but I have full knowledge of the system that made what they did okay. And I have to thank Ice Cube for preparing me for life in a lot of ways. You know? And that comment that you made about the one guy saying I was driving my Mercedes or whatever he said, and he said if I looked like you, I wouldn't even be here. It's funny because this, whether it's the whole world or whether it's America, and I'm only qualified to address America because I'm an American citizen, I'm a taxpayer, I've served my country, I have children invested in America. To a degree, America is invested in me and my success because, you know, if I do well, then I pay taxes. If I don't do well, then, you know, I become part of the homeless problem. So, you know, the social safety net is there. So I'm grateful not only for being in America and with the problems that America has, you know, I'm in a position, and many people that are my listeners, we are in a position to do so many wonderful things. And that's all I want us to go do. I'm not involved in no protesting. I'm not involved in no riots. I'm not involved in no looting. I'm not involved in no violent activity. I like to sit down and write. Sit down and record. So if I'm ever in a situation where somebody is saying, "Oh, Matt did this," and "Oh my good, Matt did this," if it ain't got nothing to do with the Matt Ellipsis Show and my YouTube videos and my music on my website, if it ain't got nothing to do with that, then it's probably a lie. Because I didn't live my life to get beat up by the cops at all.
Right.
I didn't live a life, yes, I got out there and I was having some fun when I was 15 or whatever, pretending like I got hit by a car. And that prompted police officers to come and take Jerry on a ride along to go find the car so they could pull him over and put him in jail. And it took me and him to a hospital where they knew I was faking. And so they gave us a way to out because they knew we was faking. So I gave them a fake name, and we ran out the hospital, and walked back to our home, and that was an adventure. It was a dumb adventure.
You spent a whole weekend doing that.
No, I don't know if it was a whole weekend. If it might have been, I don't know if it was a whole weekend. All I know is that they took us to Mount Prospect Hospital or something like that.
Oh my God! You walked back to Palatine from there?
Either walked or somehow got a ride. I can't remember the detail, but yeah, basically we walked back.
2-hour walk.
At least, But that was part of the adventure. Me and him freestyle on the way back, or talk, or
That's back when people actually walked.
Absolutely, wasn't no bus, and we didn't have no money for no bus either.
You didn't use the hoverboard or
none like
Uber.
That. Right. I'm walking with my slit up pants,
Oh man!
All the way back.
What's crazy?
I learned my lesson, boy.
Like this just goes on to reinforce what I was saying about racism. Is they just let me go?
Yeah.
No one asked me a word. No one asked me anything. I just walked off the scene. No one even stopped me. Like, did you? What? No. No one cared. Like, okay.
While they put me in the ambulance, they talked to you and Jerry. They put Jerry in the cop car and they let you go. Is that what you said? That what happened? Is that what happened?
Yeah. And it's so funny to me. That's like, I've been in. Yeah, I mean.
But let me tell you something. Yadi. One of the things that I've learned over these past several years, and I want to submit this to you. I want to get your thoughts on this. As much as black people, as much as we that are descendants of slaves, as much as we can complain about this system that we're sort of trapped in some way, do you know that the warden is just as trapped as the prisoner? The prison guard is just as trapped as the prisoner. The slave owner is just as trapped as the slave to the system.
Yeah.
And I began to have thank God that in my mind, thank God that my father had the idea, I'm not going to let my children go to Chicago schools, and he brought us all the way out to Palatine where the black community of my high school was probably less than 4%, if it was even 4%, of the total population
Right
of the
now,
school.
it's different though.
Say it again.
That changed. I mean, that's changed a lot.
Of course it has, but at the time, of course it has now because matter of fact, I think when I go to Palatine, I see a lot more Indian Americans, right?
Yeah.
But you're in North Carolina, right?
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
in Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm coming up there, man. I'm coming up there.
I'm in a city that's predominantly black.
Yeah. I'm coming up there, man. I'm gonna be doing some stuff. A friend of mine is going to New York, and I gave her some of my music so that she and me can interact on trying to create some opportunities in New York. And on my way from Georgia, specifically Atlanta, I'm gonna be coming up. I've got some things that I got to do in South Carolina, specifically Sumter, and I have some people in Charlotte that I need to interact with. And so when I get all this stuff together in 2021 and 2022, the songs that you and me are gonna do together, I want to be able to make it so that when I see you, we'll be able to record some music videos, stuff like that. For instance, remember that song we were talking about, I Love My Divorce?
Oh, yeah.
I got one of my friends to sing the hook, and I have not shared it with you.
How did that go? I think I sang it one time. I don't remember.
Yes, believe me. Listen, I'm going to send it to you because he sent it to me, and I have to fix the vocals so that they're in time. So sometime next week, I'm gonna have a draft instrumental, but he did the vocals. So I got the hook done as professionally as it could be done. I am gonna ask you to sing also on the hook too, so I can merge your vocals and his vocals, so it'll sound even more full. Because the way you sang
how
on,
did it go?
I will share it with you. I'm gonna put it in Messenger.
I'm trying to bait you to sing.
Don't do it now. Don't let your brain go there. Don't just wait for the instrumental. Just wait for it because because as soon as we finished talking that day, I went down and I wrote it and I called my man. I said, "Yo, I just sent you the hook because I didn't want you to listen to it with my voice. I wanted you to hear it with with Nick's voice. Nick Skinner, he's out of Las Vegas. So I wanted you to hear it with his voice so that way you would hear it as professional as possible so that you could know that what you're doing. And what I believe is the way that I want to set this song up is the way I heard it in my head is you're going to do the second verse. You're the closer on this song.
I wish I remember. I'm so at a loss. I
know. Don't stay at a loss. Just hear this part. Hear this. When I send you the instrumental with the hook, number one, there's no time limit. So however long you go, I'm gonna open the song, but you are the closer. What are some of the greatest? Remember. Scenario. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. Here we go, the scenario. You remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
You are the closer on this song. Like Busta Rhymes was the closer on that. Rah rah like a dungeon dragon. There's a sometimes like your pants are sagging. Different to determine. What'd you say?
Pardon me. As I come back.
You are the closer.
That whole verse was ad-libs. Along with the track. Pardon me. Like that was 2 bars of That's just not writing. Like it's like, hey, whatever. Along with the track.
Yes. You are the closer. What's that song with Jay-Z and Eminem?
I know the song, but I don't know the song.
Boom,
Like
boom,
I
boom,
know,
boom,
I think it's
boom,
Renegade. I think
boom.
you're talking about Renegade. Like
Renegade, right? You,
I don't know either one of their music that well. I really don't.
oh, okay. So let me see. I'm trying to think of another. Well, you know what? You're the closer. So in other
Yeah.
words, I need you to I'm going to basically what I've created is with this song. When I heard it, this is how I heard it. We got we got this volleyball, and I got Nick. Nick is bump. I am set, and you spike. That's how it's set up. The song is set up.
I got
Bump
you, but
set spike.
how does the hook
I
go?
will send
You know
it to you. I will send it to you. You just when by next week, I'm gonna send it to you. Okay?
You can't just like hum the like. How did it?
I
don't
will not.
remember.
I'm not going to dignify and mess. I'm not going to taint it at all. You are going to get the most perfect
crazy.
version for you to jump off it, because I'm telling you, it's the bomb in my mind, and it's a great song for you and me to do together. And so I just started. I think I wrote a piece of my verse. And I don't know if I'm gonna send it to you after I finish my verse, because I'm gonna see if was it the Jermaine Stewart version? No. Stop guessing. Just stop guessing.
Oh yeah, no, it's like because the Jermaine joint was funny.
The Jermaine joint was funny, but just be patient, okay? That is your job.
I don't remember.
Listen, your job right now, before I send you this, and I'm gonna send to you. You got to give me 5 days at the most. I'm gonna try to send it before I hit the road to go. Before I hit the road, I'm gonna try to send it before tomorrow. I'm gonna try to send it before tomorrow. But if you give me a countdown of 5 days, it'll be no more than 5 days. I'm gonna try to send it either today or tomorrow, so that way you got it before the weekend. That's my goal, is to get it to you before tomorrow. But all I want you to do is. The title of it is "I Love My Divorce," right? And and you are the closer. In other words, you are ending the song with however you do. Just remember the way Busta Rhymes. I don't want to say Busta Rhymes made the whole song.
But he did it.
What'd you say?
He did.
Okay, now listen. The thing about it is, here's the problem. You don't get to that Busta Rhymes verse without Fife, Q-Tip, and the rest of the leaders of the new school.
Yeah, exactly.
In other words, if everybody, when they put the verses in order, they put Busta Rhymes' verse on that song was so powerful that Q-Tip had to sort of like, he had to sort of give everybody a billboard during his verse. And then you see what I'm saying? His verse, it was so powerful. So the way that I'm
rushed and attacked.
Yes.
No. Even you had to smack.
Yes.
Throughout the sphere.
Yes. Yeah. So it was like it went Fife kicked it off, and then the rest of everybody, and then Q-Tip, he says I got this. What Busta Rhymes did on that song was such beast mode that it was almost like everybody else lined up the whole everybody to get knocked down by Busta Rhymes. That's how everybody knew their position. You see what I'm saying? Like when Jordan would dunk. Sometimes everybody would know. Okay, you know what? We do this. We all 5 of us, and then they pass it to Jordan, and then he come in there, tongue out, bam. Or same with a Shaq dunk. You know what I'm saying? Or LeBron. You are the closer. I'm saying this because I know I'm hyping it up a little bit.
Yeah. That's a lot.
I apologize for that. But this is the first song that you and me will actually have done and put into the system. Spotify will have it. Everybody will have it and have access to this song. This is a long time coming. And this will not be the only song, because I got a couple more that I'm baking for you and me. Okay? But so you have no idea. I'm so excited about you and me working on this song. And this song is also the seed of a podcast that you and me were gonna do called "I Love My Divorce."
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember them graphics that I sent you?
Oh
So,
yeah. No, I do.
So that is 2021, and what I set as some goals, I'll tell you off air. Some of the goals that I have planned for that podcast and that song, we're gonna be going somewhere with that. You know what I'm saying? Because men all over, they're gonna need what we say in this song the same way that I needed what Ice Cube had to say to me back when I was in my teen years.
Wow.
That's the impact of this song. That's what I'm bringing to the table, because people like. That's why I got to keep talking about Ice Cube, and that's why the idea of the thing I was talking about with the church women and the prostitute. Quickly, I'll say it like this: prostitutes, could you please educate these church women on how to keep their men happy? Period. And church women, could you please help the prostitutes have the air of dignity that you guys walk around with? It could be considered arrogance to a degree, but there is something that church women have that I love and need. Because church women, a version of church women said, my grandmama prayed. That right there. That's a church woman right there. That woman deserves honor. You know what I'm saying? Undergirding and being there for a man of God. You know what I'm saying? It's a big deal. Women that get up and preach and share the word, whatever women do from church, it's a big deal. It's important. It deserves honor. But unfortunately, nobody can be great at everything. You can be a great car, which means you're not a good semi-truck. You'll never be a semi-truck, you nice car. But you can learn how to drive your car with the special expertise of a professional driver that drives a semi-truck. They should educate each other on all of their strengths. In other words,
prostitutes should stick to.
Say it again. Wait, I didn't hear what you said. Prostitutes should do what?
Okay, so if you're a prostitute, you should be. Prostitutes should step the game up, or church women should step up the game.
That is a very, very good way to say it. I would just say it a little bit better. I would say prostitutes teach church women your game, and church women teach prostitutes your game. And if both of y'all have a grasp and understanding of each other's game, you're going to not only make men be better and feel better, but you're also going to raise your children to be better quality people. Now, that's I have to explain all this stuff, but it's a concept that I came up with in 2018 that is really going to be more of a comedy discussion more than it is a doctrine that I'm putting out. You know what I'm saying? But that's my belief. That I believe in that because I've learned. I'm not going to go into it any further. But bottom line is that was my little part of what I was going to be talking about in comedy stuff. And so that's another little concept that I'm working on. That's why this I Love My Divorce is so important to me, because if people can understand how their perspective, there's a way you can look at stuff beyond the way you're looking at it. Look at it, prostitute. Look at your life and look at life from the church woman's perspective, even if it's for an hour. Look at life, prostitute, church woman, from the prostitute's perspective, even if it's for an hour. Stop hating each other because you're jealous of each other in some way. I don't think prostitutes are jealous of church women.
No. So, like, Yeah, I mean, that's I know a lot of these women personally,
Yeah.
and a person is the whole person. We're a whole spirit. We're a whole being. We're a whole person. Like, so, prostitutes may not care what church women have to say.
No, but you know what? Church women are more aligned with the system of America, where prostitutes have to run and hide because it's illegal. They have to deal with the stuff that they have to deal with is because America frowns on prostitution.
All right, let me throw this one at you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna ride out of here, but
Okay.
I want to leave you with this thought.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On some level, we are all prostitutes. Because all of us are doing something that violates our code of ethics for money. On some level, either it's the job you do that you don't agree with morally, like the company you work for does something that you don't agree with, but you do your job anyway because you're getting paid, or you're paying taxes to support war, and you're paying money every time you get paid, every time you buy something that supports somebody who you do not love and have no interest in supporting. On some level, we are all being prostituted.
Is that the end of the thought, or is there more to it?
That's the thought. On some level.
Yeah.
So the thought would be, on what level am I a prostitute? Because I don't know about you, but like when I read that Donald Trump paid, what was it, $750 in taxes?
Come on now.
And I paid $50,000 this year in taxes.
And that makes me smart. That makes me smart.
I'm looking at it like, okay, we're all prostitutes. If you're sitting at the helm, right, and you're telling us that you need something from us, you need us to do something, you need us to keep the money rolling in. We're all hoes. Like, how are we not hoes? We're all hoes. Like that. That's what it made me think.
I got you. And it seems like, if I were going to quote Ice Cube, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah, that's gonna be a long one. But hey, so at the end of the day,
yeah,
I like all the ideas. It's just gotta, like, we just gotta figure out when to catch each other.
Oh no, we are on track. Everything that we're doing. Listen, I'm on this path until 2036. Okay, from now until the year 2036, all you and me have to do. Say it again.
You're making music until 2036?
I might be making music beyond that too, but until 2036, in terms of you and me, all you and me have to do between now and 2036 is make about 5 good songs.
So I don't have to pay taxes anymore.
Wait. How did you get that conclusion out of what I said?
All I have to do is make some songs. Like, I'm ready to bow out of the tax game too. Like,
look, right, exactly. I want to be more like Donald Trump. I want to bow out of the tax game.
I'm trying to stay out of the old man look with
yes.
with all the synthetic crap. But
yes.
Yeah, I would like the privilege of paying $750. Yes.
You know what? To be honest with you, no. So far, no one is really upset about it, and so it must be something that's doable. No, certain people are upset about it, but I'm talking about people. The IRS isn't upset about it.
No, they're going after his throat. Like, I'm gonna ride, but like, watch what happens to that man in the next, say, 2 years. Like, if you have, like, it's got to be the, Matt, I love you, man, but it's got to be the funniest thing in the world, man. Like, if you watch The President,
Yes.
I lost the election, but no, him, look at him. He smells kids' hair.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's
It's
all
hilarious.
you got, fam. Beloved, you lost the election, famo. You lost the election.
Yes.
That's all you got. You smell kids' hair. That's it.
And look. Meanwhile, Wesley Snipes goes to prison or does something because something.
Over 13,000.
Explain that. What happened to Wesley Snipes?
That's like $13,000.
Now it's because that's how much he owed in taxes, or that's how much.
I think so. Yeah, like in Lauryn Hill, the same thing.
Wait, what happened to both of them? What happened? Did they go to jail? What happened to them?
Yeah, they went to jail for tax evasion.
They went to jail for tax evasion, and he paid. How much did Donald Trump pay in tax? How much did you say?
I think it was $750 in taxes, and he paid that same year. He paid $168,000 in China in taxes.
So he paid Chinese. He paid taxes in China to a higher amount.
Well, no, not China. 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 Yeah. China. Not China. Like, China is how real people say it. China. That's Donald Trump. That's a soundbite. China. No, it's like, yeah, you send Lauryn Hill to prison. Like, that's what I'm, like, you know what that's like? That's like you, look, I don't even remember old girl's name. When you, there'll be no darkness tonight.
Yeah.
Lady, our love will. That's like you busting Michael Jackson, and she leans into you, and I look right at her in her face, and I go, he poots. Like, that's all. You lost the election, and all you got is he smells little kids' hair. Like, no, that's that level of hate. Like, you just killed lady in my life, and I just lean over the old girl like, yo, you know, all of his draws are doo-doo down.
Oh, that is so hilarious.
His hygiene is F level.
That is
you
so.
You could get with him if you want, you know. You got a good future behind him. You can have that if that's what you like. If you're into that, you know what I mean. Like, you don't mind changing your sheets every couple hours. That's fine. I mean, personally, I like his haircut. It's a cool hair. He's got the cross-colored RBG pants on, right?
Oh, that's so funny.
That's I don't mind the smell. Like,
hey, I heard just last week that, you know, that he just got out the hospital for faking getting hit by a car. So I mean, if that's what you want, you know, and I think they found doo-doo stains in his drawers at that time.
Yeah, and some of them were like undigested food particles.
Oh,
like, he had
is
whole
so funny.
pumpkin seeds in it. He had pistachio shells in it.
Undigested pistachio shell. What kind of man eats the whole shell? How do you break it open, eat the peanut inside and the shell, and then it goes to... He's
so not only does he not wipe, he's not even chewing. He's not even chewing his food properly. But no, if that's what you like, let me just tell everybody that that's what you like. So she's going to give you some sex just out of social obligation. Like, look, nah, I'm not trying to get drugged down into that. To hurry up and save me.
That is hilarious.
But that's the level. Like, no, I know you won by, like, you know, when they had Georgia, that's like 306 to 217.
Wow. That's the 306 electoral college votes for
Yeah, because because Biden is winning in Georgia by about 13,000 votes.
Wow.
I don't care how many recounts you do. You're not going to find 13,000. You might find 200 mistakes.
Right.
Even in Florida with George Bush Jr., it was 500. But you'll never find 13,000
right
mistakes. So he lost. And if you throw North Carolina, they voted. I mean, this state voted red. If you add North Carolina, maybe it goes up to 236. But you still lost by damn near 100 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the only thing he has to say is Biden's son got a job because of him. That's scrap level cheating. You know what? It's not even like that. It's not even like saying he doodles in his drawers. It's like interrupting you in the middle of you singing to just go la la la. That's the level of maturity that is.
Oh my goodness.
I'm out, man. Enjoy the day.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for giving me some time, man. And I'm going to put this video together, man. You have blessed my morning, man. I appreciate you, man.
Likewise, man. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.
Bless you too, man. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, man, that was my man Yadi Alamin, man. I'm so grateful. Thank you guys for listening to this long extended episode of the Matt Ellipsis Show. M3dots.com is the website, m3dots@yahoo.com, and just thank you all. Bless you.
Hit that, hit this, yeah, yeah, love. I chose to love, yeah. Said I chose to love, I chose to love, yeah. I chose to love. I could have been shot on these blocks a long time ago. I could have been shot by these cops a long time ago. I could have been hooked on the rock a long time ago. I could have been. I needed strong. Some friends never made it home. 20 years later, still holding the throne. The shy don't play around. Streets not a playground. Suburbs not safe. Gentrified, changed around. Think about the bodies being somebody's son, being somebody's pop, seeing so many pop. We're looking for a miracle. Maybe we're not. Maybe we don't give a fuck if we make it or not. But this time around I won't fail. And this time around I won't lie. This time around I know love is my life, and this time better be for real. I chose to love. Yeah, said I chose to love. I chose to love. Yeah, said I chose to love. I've gotta be more than a criminal. On my soul, I've gotta be raw individual. On my soul, I gotta be pure in my inner being. On my soul, I've gotta be. I'm gonna be water when the heat peaks, living through hell. Be a tidal wave, not idle, taking out pyros. We're inside a genocide inside. Been trying to say it ever since I was 9. Got my hands on a handgun, I'm damaged inside. Either I make a choice or let the hammer decide. Either I take an L or put my rep on the line. Eat a slice of humble pie or do I do a homicide? This time around I won't run, and this time around I won't hide. This time around I'm responsible for me, and this time around I choose love. I chose to love. Yeah, said I chose to love.